So I scanned the sprinkles and had one image, then you move them around. And then the sound of it is the candied sprinkles in a cake tin going like, going shh, the faux TV.
Tom Friedman is one of the foremost conceptual artists of contemporary art, using everyday objects, toothpicks, straws, aspirin, cereal boxes, you name it.
It's more of a spatial thinking. I mean, what I try to do in my work is create a sense of space through ideas, which is why everything is so different.
It's always so interesting to me to see where he goes next.
And it's just based on the photograph of just me with a very neutral expression, and then I will wrinkle it. Questions about who one is, just being however you're sort of wrinkled at the time.
He does it in a way that seduces you as the viewer and draws you in, because you're used to seeing, an aspirin as an aspirin, and you look closer and you see he's, stenciled in his face, and that's fantastic. It could be this big, or it could be a room-size installation.
I think there's a spirituality that pervades all his work, whether it's humorous or really serious.
This is another being that I'm working on. Eventually it'll be spray painted. So every day I would come in and add another layer. So I look for ways of opening the possibilities, exactly.
His ability to make really complex ideas available to the viewer in a sort of eureka moment is pretty much unparalleled in contemporary art.
The piece I did originally was about the idea of unlearning. You can see I deal a lot with extremes and pushing something to this idea of monstrosity, or the monster, the idea of the monster. It's formless, it can be anything.
He also combines humor in a way that very few contemporary artists are able to make work.
Well, what do you do when you're curious about something? You go like that. So there's something about challenging one's thinking or dismantling it.
His work is so perfect. There's no wrong cut edges or anything that's not done to perfection.
So it's 36 milk bone dog biscuit boxes that are cut and then reconfigured, and it's sort of a mathematical formula for cutting them.
You never know what to expect with Tom Friedman, which is so brilliant about him.
Everything that Tom does is a work of art, and it's a wonderful thing when you see an artist where the hand of the artist is so in some ways so clear, and in some ways impossible to fathom that the artist's hand was actually involved, but it was. So it's that's one of the things that I love about the work so much.
I think he should mean a lot, really, because he did grow up here, and I think clearly a lot of his inspiration and support definitely comes from here.
Yeah, it's kind of like games, but very elaborate games that hopefully one enjoys playing.
And you can go to anywhere in the world, and they're like, oh, Tom Friedman, we know Tom and his work, or we know of his work, and that's kind of cool.
For me, it's a process of learning and growing and sort of sharing that process with others.
Tom Friedman has all the right ingredients to turn you into an art lover. So.
Even the meaning of artwork is not about figuring it out and like this is what it means. It's a you hope that you grow through the work and that other people will grow through their experience of it.